back from that short break. We hope that you are still enjoying the conversation. I am your host, Alan Hubbard, and the sign language interpreter is Jedida Wafula. In studio I am with Madame Mary Nyachae. She is the lead of a number of offices in the NHIF at the National Health Insurance Fund, that is in Nairobi, Machakos and Kajiado counties, and she has said she is in charge of matters registration, look at the word escaping me, and it's the most important word, revenue collection and all the disbursements to hospitals once you, the viewer, gets services from NHIF or from any hospital of your choice that you would have picked. Now, I would like us to continue with the conversation, and you talked about digitization, how the services and systems have been digitized at the NHIF. Are there any limitations if I would want to do my registrations and add dependents, particularly dependents? Because we spoke about if I have somebody else that I would want to add onto my cover, I would need to go walk to the nearest Huduma Center or to the nearest satellite office that NHIF has in my area. But say I want to do it online, would I be able to actualize that?
Yes, you can be able to do that online.
Yeah.
We have NHIF online. On that, you can actually scan the documents and attach. We have that platform where somebody can be able to do that.
Yeah.
So in registration, that's mainly what you can be able to do. Yeah, so that's something you can be able to do from wherever you are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Could you take us through what platform would a beneficiary go to for them to be able to do that registration? And also, there's something that you've mentioned there. For registration, you would be. But is there any other step that I would need to actualize for this for the registration to be something like an authorization?
Okay, no, first of all, actually it's an open platform.
Yeah.
There's nobody on the other end authorizing that you've done. It's actually open. Once you've put the right documentation, the beautiful thing that NHIF is connected to with the IPRS, the registration process. So once you enter your ID number in any of our platforms, the number will be verified by that IPRS and they'll bring out your name. They'll come out and say, this is Alan. And from there you'll continue and add. They'll ask you your phone number.
Yes.
They'll ask you if you have a spouse. For the spouse, they'll ask you about the marriage certificate.
If you are married.
If you're married.
Yeah.
They will. If it's children, they'll ask you to attach that birth certificate. All those scanned documents, you can just put them on that. That's on our website. That's www.nhif.or.ke.
Yes.
We have a platform where you can register there. And then you can also register the one I said in the USSD code.
Yes.
*155 hash.
Yeah.
Every requirement that you're asked, you'll actually be able to put there. Much of the time there is just your ID number.
Yeah.
That's when you're registering as a person. You can be able to register without scanning anything.
Yeah.
But in case you want to add anything, now you'll come to the places where we have mentioned, the Huduma centers, our offices, Satellite, like that. Yeah.
All right. It is a digital nation, or it is a digital era. Anything on apps, an application that can be used as well?
Yes, we also have the NHIF app. Yeah. Where you can also be able to register and do all this. Yeah, that's the beautiful part.
Interesting. Yes. We spoke about biometrics haphazardly. Now it is the time for you to explain a little bit further. Now, what is biometric registration and how do I access it?
Okay. For biometric registration, before NHIF, once you register as a member, we used to print out cards, just like an ID card. Yeah. The cards for NHIF, and many people have the NHIF card. Then we've moved there and gone digital now, where we are registering members biometrically. Yeah. Meaning, a member comes to either our hospitals. We can actually register the hospital points in our offices and the Huduma centers I've mentioned. All you do, you come as you're registering. They request you to put actually we are registering all the 10 fingers. So you'll come and register. This will help us identify you in any of the hospitals that you'll go to later. So the registration is only once, and once we have your data, you can go to any hospital and just put one finger and they'll be able to identify this is you. So that's what biometric registration is about. Yes.
All right, interesting there. And this is a question that I've wondered so many times. For those who do not have biometrics, probably because of old age, their fingerprints have worn out, or probably it is a person with a disability and they do not have some parts of their limbs. In that situation, what does NHIF set out to do?
Yes, so for them, we also have we cater for them.
Yeah.
We have some in the registration process, that's in the digital platform. We are able to identify those ones who don't have fingerprints or who don't have a hand. We start with that.
Yeah.
No fingers.
Yeah.
So for that, we have a point in the registration process where either it's trauma, you just click trauma, or it will say no fingerprints.
Yeah.
And we allow for that to have an OTP offline registration.
Yeah.
So for that also it's taken care of. And we have many of such cases.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. And there is a follow-up question that I wanted to ask about the biometrics and the NHIF cards, the old NHIF cards. Because the biometrics set in, does that phase out the cards that people used to have, or is it going to take a certain period of time for the cards now to finally be phased out?
Actually, it will take some time.
Yeah.
For identification, much of the time anyway, when you come to a hospital, you don't have to present the card.
Yeah.
All that is needed is the ID card. ID card is what is required.
Yeah.
For members, many of the members, much of the time they have the NHIF card. In case they forgot the identity card numbers, they bring it because the card has the ID numbers inscribed there.
Yeah.
So for now, people still present them in the hospital, but it's being phased out. We go fully, yes, biometrically.
All right. And when people do registrations and there is money involved, they would always say there are benefits that are supposed to be here. What do I stand to benefit as an NHIF member?
Okay, that's a good question. To be a member in NHIF, let's say for self-employed, it's 500 shillings a month. For people who are in formal employment, that one is at different levels depending on the salary. And it's between 100 and 1700 if you're earning above 100,000.
Yes.
So once you that money is deducted, it comes to NHIF as a pool. That's the money we pool and we pay for people once they get sick and they go to the hospital. So for that payment, we also have an M-Pesa platform. We accept this money in the banks. Because we don't receive cash in any of our offices. So a member can go to any of the banks and fill the form for NHIF and they're able to pay this money. And all they need to do is to pay this money before 9th of each month so that it doesn't run over if it runs over, somebody will have to pay penalty for paying late. So that's what we've allowed. Instead of saying 30th a month, we allow it until 9th of each month. So that's what happens. For companies, they also should remit before 9th of every month. They fail, they also will be exposed to paying penalties for all their members for paying late. So this is something we try to avoid and encourage members to always pay on time so that their benefits cannot be affected in any way.
Now we've spoken this particularly, we've spoken about the contributions, but there is something that you've said that there are penalties. And not all of us like penalties. Could you talk to us about the penalties? How much? And so that people can have it engraved in them so that they never find themselves on the other side of paying penalties.
Okay. For the member, once they fail to pay within the stipulated time, member will pay 250 per month that they defaulted.
If I am, sorry to cut you short, but if I am self-employed or I am in informal employment and I default, then that means I will have to pay a penalty of half of the amount that I contribute, which is 500.
Not really.
It's
actually 250 shillings. For the one who is employed, the company will calculate all the amounts that you give us per month.
And pay it lump sumly.
And you pay that percentage.
All right, very interesting. We've seen calls by the government, and actually it is supposed to be assented into law, and employers are supposed to adhere to it starting this month. I'm talking about NSSF, where contributions were a little bit were not necessarily hiked, but they were extended and revised. Is this something that NHIF is also looking at? I know this might be a legal question, but are there any? If I am planning to join, is this something that I must be thinking about so that somebody could plan themselves better?
Yes, being NHI being a social health insurance, we were hoping that it would reach a time where that would be able to happen. But as you said, it's low.
Yeah.
It's something we wait to see whether it will actually be able to happen, the same as NSSF.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's something that we have in mind as NHIF, that maybe employers would pay a matching amount just like the member, so that they can benefit. So this is something which we've been hoping that it would go through, but it's also within the law, and we are waiting to see if it will be accepted by the different stakeholders.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, very interesting there. I want us to take another break, but when we come back this time around, we've talked about contributions, we've talked about how to make the contributions, and we've also talked about how to register to become a member. Now, what is in it for me? I am contributing this money every month. My boss is deducting this off of my salary. What are my benefits? What exactly do I get to benefit from the National Health Insurance Fund? And that is what you're going to be talking to us about when we come back from this break. Dear viewer, we'll be back shortly.